I like to play aggressive chess gambits where I sacrifice pieces early to try to get an advantage. But is that really a good strategy? In this video, Grandmaster Avo from Chess Mood is going to analyze every single one of the gambits that I play on a regular basis and tell me if he approves or if he disapproves of those gambits. Let's go. All right, so first gambit on the list. This is one of my favorites. It's the Von Hennig Gambit against the Caro-Kann. So, Knight c3 takes and Bishop c4. Any initial thoughts right away from this move?
Yes, I like it.
Okay.
No, I love it.
Okay.
I love this.
So almost everybody plays knight f6 here. And then I play f3. And then some people will be playing e3, but most of the time they take it. And I recapture with the knight. And then I've caught a lot of people fall for bishop g4. Like even strong players, they just, I think, habit, just play bishop g4, and then either I'll play knight e5 or I'll sack. I think they're both pretty good, and get into a really nice game. And then the better players who are paying attention, they go bishop f5. I'll castle, line up here. Usually e6 happens all the time. And then I play knight g5. This is, I don't know if this is the main line, but this is kind of my own invention where I sack my bishop on e6 after they move back. And of course, there's like all the tricks if they ignore this, with like rook takes f5 and knight takes f7 stuff. So for example, I don't remember which one's better here. I think it's this one. And then knight takes f7. It's pretty nice. And then bishop g6, the main move, and then I sack my bishop here and just try to attack their king. So what do you think about that?
You have just one pawn, yeah?
Yeah.
So let's go a little bit more. It's like queen d6. What do you do?
Queen d6, I usually go with queen e2. So to line up here and create some problems for them, also clears the way for the rook.
And if like king d7?
King d7, yeah, I think this is the best way, like king d7, king c8. And I don't remember exactly. I think maybe knight c5 and then...
Let's go back for a second and I ask you one more question. After bishop e6.
After bishop where? G6?
When you sacked.
Yeah, sure.
What if they play your h6? What do you do?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah?
What do I play? Yeah, maybe.
I checked this a little bit before, and I also went through your games, and it seems this is just completely refuting.
Yeah.
They don't like when they take. There are also different ways where black can defend successfully. But h6, it seems to me the clearest refutation. You have one game where you played queen e2 here, and your game continued this way. You gave this check, and it seems you are going to take here, trap the rook. It all seems nice. However, it's not that simple because now they play queen c7. And now not only your bishop on a8 will be trapped and you will lose this bishop anyway, but here you are going to be attacked, which is, I know, not your style.
Yeah,
and
sure.
You lost the game. So it seems that is this h6 move. It's refuting. But overall, I like this gambit, but I have one proposition.
Okay.
To you. Here, yeah. What about this move, knight e5, to attack the pawn?
Okay, and if they go like
right just here. Yeah, so here basically they have two moves here, right? Either e6 or bishop g6. And now if e6,
I assume we castle.
About going. No, I want to be aggressive and go g4.
Oh, okay.
G4 and play around this bishop.
Yeah, this looks nice.
Yeah, they probably want to play h5 and trap the bishop, kind of. If they play h5, they will completely ruin their pawn structure.
So does black have any good moves here?
There are some moves that after which they will lose immediately. For example, knight d7. So it seems like after h5 they can do this, or they can take here and try to trade the queens. But you just see this simple move. You avoid future trades after knight e5. You cover this e4 square, and it's done. It's lost. So it's very, very practical, and it's very easy to lose the game right away. You just do knight e5 and g4 and h4.
Yeah.
What black should know in order not to be finished from the very opening, here they should find or know a very hard move. I think if they don't know, it's very difficult to find. And if they know, it is this move that you don't think about this. Come on. Your bishop is under attack. Your pieces are here all undeveloped, like king in the center. And now what you do, you move the knight back. That's tricky computer, and it wants to give the check here on h4. And the whole variation is based on this. When you take, you see it, right?
Yeah,
so
the fork. Yeah.
This is the whole thing, knight d7. But the nice thing is that even if they knew this, like they cannot find it, of course, but even if they knew this, the variation still continues. You just go back. Prepare against this check. The bishop is still there. And now you do this. The plan is to go queen d2, long castle, and on top of that, when you play queen d2, next move, you want to trap the queen.
Wow.
So even if they know this, the king is in the center, queen is here, so it's still very, very difficult to play for black.
Yeah.
And there is one more nice variation when we play here after bishop f5, knight e5. I checked the database. e6 is the main move. The second main move is bishop g6 here. And there is another surprise. You don't castle, which seems natural, but you continue your style. h4, h5, you want to get this bishop.
Yeah.
Right? If they push it any moment, they just completely ruin their pawn structure. Their king is here. That's very bad, right? And if they do knight d7, there is this beautiful variation. You go h5. This right. And now it seems that here, both pieces are under attack. Black takes, and seems they are fine, right? They want 2 pawns.
Yep.
And surprise, this is a very surprising move, and this is like, boom. You do this move.
Whoa.
What's the idea? You are actually going to trap this knight.
Yeah, I was thinking about g4 first, but you go rook h3 first. Interesting.
Yeah, you cover this square because it can escape.
Yeah.
You do this, you prepare this, and you also prepare this move. You want to trap this knight in 2 ways, and black cannot save the knight. They lose the knight. So there is this beautiful trap in this variation, which is very practical, and it's very easy to get into this while playing from black side. And if they play with the other one, with e6, there is suddenly someone angry with name Nelson is attacking them. g4, h4, bam, bam. And then how to defend against all this, it's not clear.
Yeah, no, that looks great.
So you can check this out. And I think this short castle knight g5 you can play, but you can also think about this alternative with knight e5, which maybe will make your gambit not only, even if they prepared, it's still fine, because that one, if they prepare, you are pieced down.
So Avo, Vang Gambit, we've talked about some of this stuff. You showed me 95, but what is your verdict? Do you approve or not approve this?
Not approve, but 100% approve. 107. Yes, approved.
Nice. Very good. Next up, we have the Alipin Gambit against the French defense. So against the French, I played a move bishop e3, which I have to say usually surprises most of the French players. They're like, what is he doing? And it's kind of annoying, I think, because a lot of times they're thinking about c5, but then they're like, well, it's a free pawn. I guess I should take it. So usually what I get is this. I'll play f3. And then I've seen it's kind of seems split between knight f6 and taking, but I really like this trap where I take, and they think they're catching me with queen h4, but I go bishop d3, g3, and then the surprising bishop f2 to pin the knight, and basically just winning already. So I've gotten quite a few people on that. And then if they just take it when I play f3, I really just feel like it's super easy to play. You just develop your pieces, you castle, you can swing the queen over. Most people are castling this way, so you can just attack very easily. And I don't know, I really like it. So what do you think? What are your thoughts about this?
I like gambits, so maybe it will not be very objective. And especially below 23 level, usually gambits are a very good way to play, fun to play, especially when you are a beginner. Yeah, it's very good to learn gambits because you are learning the chess in the right way. You feel the tempo of the game, the speed of the game. You are not worried about pawns, but you play aggressive chess. And this one, bishop e3 is such a strange move. Once you get to this position, I think this one is very interesting already. If they take the pawn, I think this one is very interesting already. One thing I checked your games. One idea I would suggest is keep in mind, let's say this is continuing the game like this, right? And it's now natural to play our next move, short castle, right? Castle and bring the rook. But this one thing I want to suggest you not to castle, but to have queen here and castle long.
Okay.
The general rule goes like this. If you have a space, if you have the center, you castle the opposite side. And the idea is when you have opposite castles, you declare war to the opponent. And it doesn't matter weak pawns, weak square, pawn down, it's who will mate, yeah? And what happens when you have a space, your pieces transfer from one side to another much easier. You navigate your army both for attack and defense very easily. Like, look, because we have a space, right? The queen easily will attack. Well, once we castle long, right? Let's say this, right? Queen is not easily attacking us while our queen is here. Because we have a space, the bishop is limited. The bishop has problem to attack us. Because we have space, this rook maybe somewhere will attack, but this rook, it will take time to move the queen, the bishop, so it comes to attack us.
Yeah.
While, because we have space, we have easily can push our pawns. Plus, we have these here two bishops ready here. And you might not necessarily need to prepare rook g1, g4. Maybe you sacrifice the pawn and say, just take my pawn if you want. Yeah. So this is one suggestion. Might be this add fuel to your attack.
Yeah. Okay.
On this, you can keep in your mind. The thing is that because I played French all my life, I know two strong ways to play against this. But the good thing for you is that not often you will face this. One is after knight f6, you don't take but play c5 and immediately attack the center. So it's not about winning a pawn, but if these pawns will be traded, white will be in trouble because of this weak pawn. After take, black will develop another piece with a tempo. Yeah, so this is a bit challenging variation of the c5, and now your two pawns are like hanging. Imagine this, yeah, take this. Now your pawn structure, you have isolated the weak pawn, the f2 pawn is gone, this is under attack, it's coming from here. Now, it's not the gambit we wanted to play, we wanted to have fun. Now black is having fun. This is one thing, it's a strong way to play for black, but not many people will play this. The other one is strange move knight h6, which I think is just very strong weapon against this.
I think someone played this against me once, and it turned out to be a cheater.
Yeah. This is engine move. This is you don't think about this move. Usually, knight goes to the center. However, here there is a logic. Knight doesn't go to f6, but it goes to f5, directly attacking your bishop. And if you give this bishop, it will not work out for you. If you take now, this is coming very strong. And if you don't know how to play against this knight f5, and once you low knight f5, this is under attack. They can develop the knight, attack this pawn or c5. So there will be some issues. So there are these two ways, for playing. But the good thing, I checked the stats, and especially below 2000, everyone takes. But even on your level, when you are playing 23 plus players, people take this pawn. And once they take, I think even engine says black has pawn. Yeah, practically this is very easy, very fun position to play for white. So yeah, you can go for this, I think.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and tell me, does this get the approval or no?
For classical chess, when your opponents will prepare against you, no.
Okay.
Because they will easily check with engine, find knight h6 move.
Okay.
But playing online, both for blitz and rapid, yes, approved.
Okay, nice.
What do you think? How are you doing against French at Caracal?
I think I'm doing decent against both of them. Yeah, that's what I think.
You know, that's the right answer. You know, look at this, 170. When you play bishop c4, look at this, 144 against 89, and this is 2300 plus.
Wow.
So here you are with this gambit, you are crushing, just crushing. Knight f6, f3, and the variation even you showed, it's working very well for you. The knight g5 you are playing. So here I was recommending you to play knight e5. But even this one, knight g5, you are crushing. So opponents don't know how to defend in limited amount of time. So this is working very well for you. And French is also, this bishop e3 surprising move. You are doing again very well here.
Mm-hmm.
So bishop e3, 70 against 62, decent. Yeah, you can have better because you are playing with white, but you are having here decent result.
Yeah.
And yeah, knight h6, like here we can see that it was not played against you. This move, the refutation, and this is another refutation. So 2 refutation, and you played over 100 games. Nobody played against you. This means you can successfully keep continuing playing. Just keep in mind this long castle idea.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Avo, next one on the list is probably one of my new all-time favorite gambits. So I started playing it relatively recently, and I've had a lot of fun with it and had some nice wins. Also some tough defeats, but it's a fun one. It's the Halloween Gambit. So I attack the pawn, they defend, bring out the other knight, and if they bring out the knight, now I sacrifice on e5 simply to gain some tempos and get the center and chase the knights around. So d4, and then they have a couple of options. I think knight g6 is a little bit better, and then I will push e5, chasing the knight back, and then bishop c4, putting pressure here. I'm not totally sure the best approach from here on out. Sometimes I castle kingside and try to push like this. Sometimes I do other things and maybe castle queenside. But yeah, tell me what you think and what are your thoughts on Halloween Gambit?
And what if they go knight c6 back? Instead of knight g6?
Back here, I'll chase the knight again. And
then f4, yeah?
Yeah, and I feel like I get even more tempos this way. And I do know there's always the option of, I don't remember if it's on knight c6 or knight g6, where they just basically give up one of their knights at some point and play bishop b4 and just get an interesting position.
Yes. Well, the Halloween, I think it will be fun to play against materialist people who like to keep their piece. They want a knight, they will go all back to the 8th rank and play from there. Then it might make sense. But if they are like, you want to play Gambit, we will ruin your day, and find a nice moment to give this knight back. I don't, and the problem of this variation is there are so many ways for black. I mean, if they want to refute, if they go here like knight g6, and bishop c4, yeah? We have just pawn, yeah, for the piece. And there are few ways for black to get a very, like even d6 works, this variation queen f3 if they know. But if your opponent is prepared, they know a little bit here, and they play here d5, give this pawn back. And when you take it, they play knight e7, you move the bishop, they play knight f5, attack here, then here. You basically are having some issues. The same is coming with the c6, a move that not many people will play if they don't know. With the idea, if you just castle with the plan to play f4, f5, now they play d5, and they completely close your bishop. And if you do now en passant, yeah, take, okay, it's like almost no compensation. You are just piece down. Yeah, they'll play 97,
Sure.
castle, yeah. And with c6 and d5, it's bad. At the end of our session, I will show your stats. But I want to say to go ahead and spoil one surprise. You are being very badly beaten in Vang Gambit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought I had a good win rate.
No, you have a good win rate with all your gambits overall. But if
Okay.
I change the stats and I put your opponents are 23 plus, Halloween is ruining you. In Halloween, you are losing a lot because 23 plus players, they know some stuff, they watch some courses, they watch some books, they watch YouTube videos, maybe they are chessable students, they know something, or they are watching chessable courses. So c6 and d5, surprisingly, that refutations I show you, you are facing. So you are facing opponents on 2300 level who are prepared, and then you are not getting anything there. The other thing about this variation, that I don't like, is that black has so many ways to give up the piece back.
Sure.
So, for example, we were checking out this one, right? They can just play bishop b4 and give up the piece back. The knight c6 way they can go, and here play knight e5, f4, yeah, you go back, and now they give up the piece, and they play this or this, yeah. And once you take, like, now what do we have? A point has 3 pieces developed. We have just one, which is pinned. We have this pawn on f4, limiting our bishop, weakening this diagonal. Black is next going to play d6, open the bishop, castle, and then king here. It's not very clear, like it's not the type of position we wanted to have. Or imagine they here after f4, they don't go knight g6 back, but play this move. And they're like, okay, you wanted my piece, take it. And then what you do? If you take, what do we have? We have this backward pawns that it will be attacked in the future. We have this e5 big square. Black has this good bishop, and it's a challenging position. Or if the opponent says, like, I don't want gambit and just play bishop b4 because I know this position. Now you will transpose to the position that they might be prepared very well, because you could get this position if you played here d4. And if take, what they play bishop before the main variation, you transpose. So actually they just ignored your whole gambit and say, like, I don't care about your gambits. So the problem of this Halloween, even if it seems very nice, I think there are few refutations, both after knight g6 and knight c6. There are refutations which they will give the piece but get positional good play. And also they can just play a move like that one, bishop b4, or they play just d6 and you will have here an equal position. Even though it's endgame, yeah, next they play c6, king c7, and you don't have anything. So this variation has refutations, plus if opponent wants to just give the piece back, you will not have that fun attack, fun position. So there are too many ways for black here.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I know what your answer is.
Yes, plus we will check at the end. You are losing lots of rating points because of this gambit. So I think you should take it below 2000 and it's fine. Otherwise, this one is disapproved.
Disapproved. Okay.
Here we have interesting statistics. We can see that actually you have 18 loses and 31. 18 wins, 31 loses with 95.
Wow.
And this is not completely clear stats, because you might have winning position but lose the game. So many people will comment like, oh, I played just 5 games and I have very bad results. So 5 games, 10 games are not usually enough because you might completely have winning position, but you are losing because of time or something, right? But 53 is something. 53 game is something. And on top of that, I just checked. I checked what your opponents are playing. So we can see that here there is knight g6. You have bad stats, 13 against 23, knight c6, 4 against 7. And the interesting thing is that here, when they go, you can see that your opponents know the theory. They know d5 and c6.
Yeah.
And especially if they know c6, look here. You have 1 win for 9 losses.
Wow. If you don't recommend the Halloween Gambit, what is your go-to gambit against e5? If I want to play an aggressive opening, I want to attack them. What do you play after they play e5? What's your best option?
For below 2000, I think d4 is very, very cool. d4 and then c3 and then take it, or play bishop c4. Both are very cool below 2000. On your level, I think if you want to go aggressive, you can go either with our chess mode openings and a scotch, just scotch. Even if it's not gambit, you are planning to do something very aggressive. You are planning to go with long castle.
Okay.
So imagine if they are doing something like passive. You can see here you are not castling short. We are castling long. And you can explain, right, already why long.
Mm-hmm. We have more space and we have the center, so we're following the new
space
principle.
And center.
Yeah.
As we have space and center, like this rook is coming very easy for the king. This rook has problems. How this queen will come to attack us? It's limited here with their piece. Like it's difficult for them.
Yeah.
So the space you castle, you have space, you castle the opposite side. Plus also with castle, you activate your rook. And now your plan is to push f3, g4, h4, and push very, very easy attack. And you are not even pawn down. So this is like if they play passively, but even if they play aggressively, like bishop c5, the main move, what we covered in chess mode courses, is this one. And then again, I plan to castle long, dealing with this bishop first and playing this strange move. Temporarily closing the bishop. Just temporarily.
Yeah.
And then our plan is again same. f3, g4, h4, and push forward. Yeah, queen is ugly here, but don't care about this bishop. Anyway, we are going to push with pawns and do pawn storm. And if they want to also attack us, the bishop is staying in front of the pawns. So
Sure.
sooner or later, they should take it. Then you fix it and then play f3, g4, and go there.
Got it. Okay, so Scotch game.
You can check. Yeah, you can check it out, Scotch. Alternatively,
openings. Okay.
It's in chess mode openings, yes.
Hey guys, I want to actually let you know that you can get the course that he's talking about absolutely free if you use the link in the description. It's a special Chess Vibes link that for the month of May gives you access to every single course on chessmood.com. There's a lot of other courses, but let me just show you the one that he's talking about. If you go down here on the left to Simplified Chess Mood Openings, click on that, then go to the starter course for white mood openings, click on that, and if you scroll down, you'll see all the different openings that they teach, one of which is the Scotch game here in section 2. If I click on that, it's going to open up all the lessons, the quizzes, everything you need to know to start playing the Scotch game right away, and that's what Avo was just explaining to me. So please take advantage of that for the entire month of May. You get total access for everything, all the courses that they have. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity.
This gambit is, I wanted something that I could play right away that would totally take my opponent out of their comfort zone and just be kind of weird. Okay, so I came up with the wing gambit, but not just the normal wing gambit, because normally my understanding with the wing gambit is you hope that you do this and you have this annoying bishop, and it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe some Banco Gambit sort of style. But I noticed that I think I saw one game, I don't even remember who played it or what it was, but they took with the rook. And I was thinking like, okay, what's going on here? What are we doing? This is like how beginners play chess. Like, let's bring the rook out and over or something. And then I noticed in some games, they just left it sit there and, like pretend like it doesn't even matter. And I noticed it's actually a little bit dangerous if black is not paying attention. They can get into trouble. And I even saw some really cool games where, Black did something like this and castled. Well, let's say, something like this, castles. And then there's like a Greek gift sacrifice and you win with checkmate on H7 or something. So I thought, okay, there's all kinds of interesting things going on. And I started playing it. And I've had some success, but also some games didn't go my way. So what do you think about, first of all, the Wing Gambit, but then also taking with the rook?
Wow, what is this? This is real? Wow. So I think there is one good thing. If you play this in a real tournament and you do this, the whole tournament, everyone will be right at your board. And who is this guy? If Morphy was alive, he would approve and say, yes, let's do that. I have one worries here. One of the things that people are doing and losing lots of games is that they are castling short, and they're castling short quickly, like in this case.
Mhm.
So if you, because it is opening principles, yeah. It's written, develop pieces, get center, castle, yeah. But that castle, I think, is wrong. It shouldn't be castle. It should be taking king to the safety. Because of that, people are so often just castling. But if you think it this way, yeah, you castle, yeah, what do you do? Is your king safer here? You just run into this bishop.
Yeah.
You run just into this Greek gift. Is your king here safe? With these 3 pawns, the knight will be gone. Or it was safer here.
Yeah.
So I
No,
think
and
this is a mistake.
can I go ahead and show the Greek gift for people who might not be familiar with that?
Sure.
So if Black does castle and we play e5 and they just decide to move their knight somewhere, we can sacrifice our bishop. Maybe we have to play h4
Yes.
first, actually. Yes. But let's say we play h4 and they just do some random move. The idea that we're talking about is that we lure the king out by sacrificing the bishop. Then we attack with the knight. And if they just try to go back and hide, we now bring out the queen. And a lot of times they end up just getting checkmated. Like in this case, you can't really stop the checkmate here. So that's what we're talking about when we say Greek gift. Okay, Abo, continue on with.
Yeah. So if I was Black here, my plan would be here to play knight c6, just delay castling. Yeah. And what do you do? Let's say castle or knight c3 maybe.
Yeah, maybe castle.
Castle, yeah. Maybe something like e5 and kill this bishop. Delay castling. Maybe even a6 b5 with b4. And if you play this in a classical game against masters, it will be disaster for you. I think this position. So this is very romantic, and I want this romantic. I don't want engine to ruin chess. This is very romantic. My heart, part of my heart loves this. The other thing is here, with a3 is that the main move here, the best way for Black to play is d5. And you might not get there d5. And here it's not that Black is agreeing to give the pawn back. They are not agree. They counterattack this pawn. Yeah. And if you take here and you take the pawn back, then there is this check and this trap, you lose the rook.
Yeah.
And if you don't do, because of this pawn, you cannot really attack the knight. Sorry, you cannot develop the knight and attack the queen. And then plays e5, knight c6. So there is also this move, d5. It's not only that one, and then d5. But there are these two things that it's making me a little bit worried about if this will work on 2300 plus level.
Yeah.
But you will have lots of fun with this. I can imagine the fun you will have with sacrificing that rook. The exchange, actually, yeah.
Would you say better or worse than Halloween Gambit?
I think better than Halloween. Halloween has too many refutations and too many ways to decline the gambit. And this one, yeah, I'm approved or disapproved. So I think Morphy would not mind if for a second he enters into my soul And for a second, I am not Avetic and I am Morphe. And right now, it's already not me, it's Morphe talking. And he says, yes, yes,
Okay.
let's play romantic chess.
So let's start with e4. Against e4, I have been playing the Scandinavian. And there's two kind of gambits that I wanted to talk about. First one is after they take, we attack. If they try to defend with c4, I've really enjoyed the Icelandic gambit, where we do this. And I always have a tough time remembering the theory because I didn't spend that much time learning it. But I know basic ideas are generally you're going to bring out the bishop, bring out the knight, usually end up sacking a piece along the way, maybe two pieces. And hopefully you attack the king in the center with maybe some queen e7 or castling and the rooks coming over, something along these lines, depending on how white decides to defend. So, what's your impression of this?
My impression is very good on this. The only thing is that your stats are not super well. And here I want to share with you something that you will be surprised, but I think you will like it.
Okay.
So, but full disclaimer, the move I will show you, dear chess lover, so this goes to every chess lover who is watching this video, and also goes to you, Nelson. Don't click end the recording. Avo, goodbye. Who is this Grandmaster? Full disclaimer. I know. It's like sounds very weird,
Okay.
but instead of taking the pawn with the bishop and developing the piece,
Oh.
this looks like very odd. I know it. What's this? You have this weak isolated pawn. You limit the bishop. What is this? But I have found this move some long time ago when I was like obsessed with gambits. The idea is to put the pawn on e5, the knight on here, the bishop here, fully control this move. And when you castle long, you are going to have this rook together with the bishop.
Wow.
And if they play d4 and say, okay, goodbye, is that everything, right? Because if they play something like this, it's simple, right? You have this,
Sure.
you have the knight here, you have the bishop here, castle, and it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
And if they play d4, you play here e5, another surprise.
Oh, okay.
Now your both bishops are open, the knight is ready to come, and if they take, you go this. You want here, the bishop is coming from here, the knight is coming from here, the bishop is here, you castle long with the check. So very interesting. And you can check this out. And even if they play knight f3, there is another surprise. You anyway push.
Wow.
You just give this pawn back. You want to push farther. Yeah, don't allow d4. And if they take, you do this. Now you want this, you want to castle. And this is, you will be surprised, but even engine approved. Even engine doesn't think that white has big advantage. It says there is some advantage, but and e5 is like pre-move, no matter what white plays. It's this, whatever. Our next move is this. You give this, and then this castle. With this, actually, what you are doing with this move, your rook says, thank you. You think about me few moves ahead. So I will castle, and once I come here, together with the bishop, we will attack this pawn. So this is something. Plus, there is another good thing. Your opponent will think something is wrong with you. Like they will like, okay, this is very weak, guys. They will relax. What is this? How you can play chess like this, right? And then surprise, next move you are e5, damn. And the last good thing, you said after bishop e6, you don't remember many variations, Here, there is nothing to remember. Just e5, bishop c5, and with all your army, you jump to the opponent.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Think about this.
I thought you were going to say, for some reason, I thought you were going to say something like bishop c5 here and let them take this when you were saying I wasn't going to believe the move. And then when you said this.
This is also interesting. Is
this, have you looked at this one at all?
Yes, I have looked at this one. Unfortunately, white is just developing normally and there is not much. And
right.
engine likes that move more than this. And it doesn't like makes like he's greedy to give up the pawn. No, he's not greedy. The engine next move gives it back. And he says like, okay, I will give up the pawn, but this way. Take and this one.
Yeah. This is wild. Like,
wild, really.
You break all the you break all the principles. Make an isolated pawn. You don't develop. You block your bishop. I mean, wow.
Yeah. I think if you play such move like in classical tournament and the arbiter comes and takes you out from the tournament, he will be
Okay, so give me your, just going back to this one for a second, approve or not approve?
Approve. This is very fun position to play. You just need to work a little bit and remember the variations, what you are doing, because sometimes your opponents are failing to do correct things and you have to punish them, but you are not punishing them. I just checked your games and so just work a little bit work on that.
Got it. And then if you're lazy like me and don't want to study too much opening theory, just go with the isolated pawn. Does this have a name? Does this opening have a name?
No, we can come up right now.
Yeah, I think we should. I don't know what it should be. The isolated pawn attack.
Anti-chess Gambit.
Staying with the Scandinavian, but against d4 here, which is pretty common. I like to play the Portuguese Gambit. It was called the Gambit when I learned it. I think now they call it the Portuguese variation, but a lot of times you end up, they can hold on to this pawn. So I think it is a Gambit. And the point is, even though we lose a tempo, we've induced some weaknesses that we can take advantage of. They lose an important square for their knight. It's just kind of awkward for the white king. But they do sometimes chase these pieces around, and it gets kind of crazy right away. What do you think?
It's interesting. It's interesting. If they are prepared, you are in trouble. And about your statistics. Yes, and your statistics is doing very well, Nelson.
So, approve or not approve Portuguese Gambit with Bishop G4?
Well, it's your statistics approves. Like with black, you have positive results against E4. Against the main move E4, you have positive results. You are crushing the guys. So 100% approved.
Okay, great.
So you are playing with black pieces where usually you are the defender side, but on your level yet, when 3+ I put here, you can see that here you win more than you lose even. So if you had here like 48%, it would be okay because you are playing with black. But now you have very positive result, very positive. So this is working for you very well, this variation with Bishop G4. And even F3, yeah, it's like 10 against 20. Like you lose just 10 and 22 you win. So this is working for you super well.
England Gambit. Now, I know there are some cheap tricks for low-rated players here where you hope that they play Bishop F4 and then they have no idea what's going on. You play here and they're like, oh, I lost my piece, and you get a free piece. That's one thing. And then the other thing that sometimes beginners will fall into is they'll play something like Queen D2 thinking, okay, I'll block, I'll defend. But then you can take, and they think, oh no, my rook, let me go here to save it. But then you pin the queen, and they can't take you because the bishop, they're losing their queen. So there are some cheap little tricks like that. But at the top level, I think most people know that if this happens, they just go back. And when you take, they don't go here, because again, you can go with this crazy pin. Maybe I should show this if somebody hasn't seen it. On Queen D2, we can take it, and then there's a checkmate. So, but most people who have studied this, they know you just play Knight C3. And then you're going to I think there's some annoying moves where the knight jumps around, even Rook B1 is coming. It's just a good position for white. So I think it's Amon Hamilton, the GM on Chessbra, who plays Bishop B4, and then I think on Rook B1 just sacks the queen like this, and you get this position. Down a queen, but you have two pieces, and white's position is maybe a little bit passive, but I don't know. They do have the rook over here. What do you think about when I say all that stuff?
This sounds crazy, and this doesn't sound right at all.
Okay.
And by the way, this is if we call sacrifice, this is finding an excuse, because this is not real sacrifice. Our queen got into trouble. There is one thing in many openings, the queen is getting out from the d8 square. Immediately c7 is having a problem, and now it's also on top of everything is coming not just rook b1 but knight d5, very unpleasant move. So it's also coming rook b1. We move the queen a3, knight b5, attacking the queen and attacking the pawn on c7. And there is, it's like you're not just sacrifice because you are so crazy and you are aggressive. It's because you didn't have other option. So it is between sacrificing and losing the queen. And because I was a d4 player, I think this position after 95, it seems like, okay, I have 2 pieces. For the queen, it is 2 pieces and 2 pawns, right? Or 1 pawn.
1 pawn, yeah.
1 pawn, 2 pieces and 1 pawn. So first, materialist doesn't work for you. So it is like what, 6, 7 against queen, against 9. And what compensation do we have? It's that they are far from development. If they play e3, bishop e2, and castle, we don't have any compensation, I think. And on top of that, Nelson, if I remember correctly, I will try to memorize the variation. There is a concrete way to finish the game right away for white. I think it is this move. You take the bishop immediately.
Okay.
And you play here queen a1. And sack the knight. The knight cannot easily move because they will lose the g7 pawn and also the rook on h8. Such moves white doesn't care, because one of your compensation is having your bishop pair, and if you give this bishop, there is nothing you can do with this king. It's even in the center. You don't have a queen to attack this king, so king can do whatever they want.
Sure. So maybe f6.
Play f6, right? Because if d6, you will be also on top of everything. So you will be under f4, or you will be under maybe rook b5.
Right.
And this gone, f4, the knight gone, taking here, just over. So f6, right, to cover this. And now there is again this move. Now, if you play this, they take it. The material is you have rook and bishop. For the queen, you don't have even the pawn. Your king is here having a problem. And if you play king f8, king f7, you have weak king, opponent has a queen, material down, everything is bad.
Sure.
It's not good. And if you do this, they take here and attack here. The only move to cover defend both. Now they play here and attack 2 pawns. And then it's just game over.
Yeah.
They will win one. Both are important pawns. You lose queen, and then you suffer all game for hoping for draw. So this is like, I think it works for Aaron Hamilton. I think often because it is, people like to see queen sacrifices, and when it's variation with queen sacrifice, it takes attention. But I think yes. In 2019, when I was in St. Louis, I was playing my tournament, my only tournament in the last 10 years. On the last round, he plays this and he lost very easily with black pieces. So this is something that if he plays against master plus level, he will have maybe 10% results. So it will be very bad.
Wow. Okay.
The other thing is that here this, as you called, cheap tricks, it is like, what's the cost of this cheap? It's really low, the cost. So if you are speaking about 2000 plus, nobody will get here.
Yeah.
And if we speak for your level, the problem here I see in this variation is that if I just give this pawn back to you, they just do this and let's say take the center. Now what did we do? We have the queen here in front of the bishop. We gave the center, opponent has the e4 pawn. The queen is under knight d5. If they can take with queen, but they can take even with a pawn. Even though it seems that have here double pawns, but it doesn't worry them because let's say this is the position. I will just put some normal move. I'm not even putting here the aggressive way. let's say I just play passively, and white will play long castle. They have space. Yeah, this is one of today's topic. Space, castle opposite side. This rook will be open here. This is coming on you. This is like, yeah. It's
sure.
like, seems to me this one very wrong. Nah.
Okay, so you approve or no?
No, this one is, it's like I am badly disapprove this one.
Badly disapprove. Okay.
So we can see after d4, none of your openings are doing like really good for you. So here you
Wow.
are on long level, you are having your problem and you are losing rating.
Yeah.
While like the same you see against d5, here you are not losing rating, which you should because you are playing with black, right? But you are winning rating, 311 against 352. So with d5 you
Yeah.
are winning, So here you are fine. But with d4 you are struggling here. You try different things. And maybe the opening I taught you during our last session, the dash with playing e6, f5 will do good for you.
Yeah.
And this is something I think you should work right now for improving further. Have some solid opening against d4. It might be the dash I taught you, or it might be something else, but focus on d4.
I think we are down to the last gambit, and it's against knight f3. I play g5. I saw this because Magnus played it a couple of years ago, and I tried it, and I kind of like it. Knight f3 is one of those moves where I'm like, how do I play a gambit against knight f3, right? So this is one way to do it. Usually I think I'll play e5, attack the knight. I think most people play d4, and then I think I've played both. I don't really know any theory, but let's just say we attack it, and they go back. We just kind of gain space, gain tempo, and try to be aggressive. That's my plan, basically.
So one thing here after e4, let's say d5. I'm just taking here, yeah. This position. What are white's most important pawns in this position?
White's most important pawns.
Yeah, they have 7 pawns. Yeah, which of them they cannot lose? This is important concept.
I have no idea, actually.
Yeah, I'm calling this key pawns. There are in architectures there is key stones. These are the stones that are keeping all the stones together. So here in this case, this is a key pawn. Once you lose this pawn, the d2 becomes isolated. It becomes very sad.
Okay.
This is another key pawn. If you lose this, the d2 becomes very sad. And these key pawns, if you lose them, you have islands.
Sure.
Similarly, this pawn. If you lose this pawn, yeah, these two will become islands. So these are, and the same way for black, these are the key pawn, this and this. Okay. So the problem here, like if you sacrifice this pawn, it's fine. You keep all 7 together. No problem. You keep your whole pawn chain, yeah? But once you sacrifice this pawn, like this is the key pawn. And strategically, you are in trouble. Not only material, like you are pawn down, right? But in the future, somewhere you played the game and somewhere the opponent gave up the pawn and you go to the end game. Because of these pawns, absent of this pawn, you are in trouble. This is one thing that worries me. And that after e5, d4, you play bishop e7 or that one, yeah? Let's say they go back, yeah? And let's say they go even more back, yeah? But white is very solid here because this pawn is here, it's gone, and it's kind of blocking further improvement. You cannot push further. Yeah, it's blocked here, and strategically, it's problem here. The pawn is gone, and I'm not liking this one.
I think I know the answer, but approve or disapprove?
It's key pawn, it's not just sacrificing a pawn, it's key pawn. And
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Not approve.
Guys, before you go, don't forget to click on the link in the description to get full access to all of the Chess Mood courses for the month of May. Special thank you to Grandmaster Avo for doing this video with me, and I'll see you guys next time. As always, stay sharp, play smart, and take care.